And while we wait for Keene State to go to bat in the bottom of the third, we are joined by a special guest today. It is Keene State sophomore pitcher Phil Nichols. Phil, thanks for stopping by. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. We got to see you in action once again yesterday in the first game of the doubleheader against Framingham State. Another great outing from you, where you went 5 1/3 innings pitched, giving up only 4 hits and striking out 3 batters. And that followed up your excellent season debut a week prior against Trinity, where you went 6 1/3 innings pitched, giving up 6 hits, but no earned runs in either appearance. So 2 games into your season, how do you ultimately evaluate your performance so far?
Yeah, I feel good. I ultimately trust the defense behind me. Throwing to contact, the opponent putting the ball in play, and the defense is just out there making plays.
What is something that you ultimately set as a personal goal heading into this season?
Just competing, going out there, doing well, and like I said, overall as a team, just getting the job done day in, day out.
Is there any particular pitch you're hoping to improve on, something that maybe didn't seem so well at first that you're trying to maybe get a little bit more effectiveness out of?
Yeah, the other day I was actually struggling with the breaking ball, so it's definitely something I need to bring back in.
Now, this year is also a very interesting year as Beon steps in to lead off the bottom of the third inning as he takes ball 1 there. Obviously, this year is very interesting in the fact that we have several new rules, particularly with the pitch clock, 20-second pitch clock. I want to know personally, what is your take on the new rules? What do you ultimately think about it?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something to get used to and be aware of now, but, every day in practice we're, going over those rules, seeing what we can do to, not have any problems with them. So.
Now, for those who don't know, sitting next to us working on the graphics for today's game is yesterday's special guest, Brendan Muse, and I also asked Brendan about the pitch clock as well, and he talked about how he personally likes to be able to take his time on the mound and be able to figure things out before throwing that pitch. Is that a similar mindset that you have, or do you personally enjoy the faster pace?
Personally, I don't mind the faster pace. I don't really see a whole difference in what I was doing prior to the rule implementing. So
we've been talking about throughout this broadcast how young of a team you have here. So many freshmen on this club already contributing in so many ways. You obviously coming in here year before as that pitch is fouled down the right field line, bringing the count to 3-2. How excited are you personally to see this core group of players being able to help rebuild Keene State baseball over the next few years?
Oh, I'm very excited. We have a lot of new arms in the bullpen this year, and a lot of options out in the field and in the lineup, and right now it's great to see the new guys coming out and just getting the opportunity, see who fits best where.
And Beon gets a free pass over to first base to start the bottom of the third. Now we'll bring up Jonathan Chatfield, who struck out back in the first inning. Who are some of the guys that you really enjoy hanging out with? Are there any? And a high pitch on the inside, and that does. We'll see if they do say that does hit Chatfield or not. And they will say that it did hit him. So Chatfield will now head over to first base, and Beon will advance to second. So runners on first and second with nobody out. Going back to that question, who are some of the guys you've really ultimately enjoyed hanging out with on this team?
Put me on the spot here. There's a whole lot of guys, I can tell you that all the guys on the team, honestly, we all get along well. That team chemistry has been there since the fall, so I can't really say anyone in particular. It's just all the guys on the team.
Just a strong sense of camaraderie among this group of guys.
Definitely, and I feel like that's a huge role in being successful in the season, is that first step, team chemistry, and I feel like that's been there for quite a while.
Foul ball out of play there by Brendan Eaton. He popped up in his last plate appearance back in the first. So ultimately, by the time you are done here at Keene State, what are you ultimately hoping to accomplish as a pitcher by the end of your collegiate career?
Not necessarily as just a pitcher, but I say as a team, winning a conference championship and making the NCAA tournament is an ultimate goal. Winning games, making that tournament, winning a championship.
Does having a team like Eastern Connecticut in your conference that's so good nationally, how big of a motivating factor is that for you guys personally as the umpire gets hit on that pitch there? We'll see if the trainers come help him out there. Scary moment in this situation. And we will get some trainers coming out here to help out the home plate umpire. We will take a quick commercial break. We will come back with more with Phil Nichols. Back here at Pelicans Ballpark with Keene State up 3-0 in the bottom of the third inning. Nick Landi here joined by Keene State pitcher Phil Nichols, as we recently had a scary moment where the home plate umpire was hit by what appeared to be a foul ball there. He was down on the ground for a little bit. Thankfully, he is back up, was given some water, and it appears he is back on the field, and we are ready to go as Brendan Eaton will step back to the plate to continue this inning. So Phil will continue this conversation. We've gotten to talk a lot about your Keene State career, but I do want to talk a little bit about the Major League Baseball season coming up. It's always great to hear who each guy roots for on a team, what he is looking forward to in the season. So who is your MLB team?
The Boston Red Sox. Big Boston sports fan.
Boston Red Sox, as Eaton goes down swinging for the first out of the inning. Bornstein will now come to the plate. So we were talking with Brendan Muse, our graphic manager here and pitcher as well yesterday, and we talked a little bit about Yankees baseball, and we did talk a little bit about how Yankees fans are able to coexist on this team with Red Sox fans. How do you find fans of both teams being able to coexist on this ball club?
We're always going back and forth about it. Who's the better team? Who's going to be more successful in the season? So it's a good time. It's fun having different players root for other teams. See who comes out on the top.
Now, it's been a tough past year for the Red Sox, not being able to get back in the playoffs, and you've had a difficult offseason, but ultimately, how optimistic are you with this ball club heading into next season?
I'm pretty confident, honestly. I mean, right now in spring training, they're doing pretty well, so yeah, I'm confident that they can have a successful season.
And a line shot by Bornstein was caught by the third baseman for Salem State for the second out. A great catch there by James Dolan. And there are two down now here in the bottom of the third inning. I mean, I have to tell you, as someone who's been watching Major League Baseball since 2003, the Red Sox always seem to be that one team that can bounce back from a bad season the year before and really turn it on the next season. We saw it in 2013, where 2012 was not a good year under Bobby Valentine. You get a new manager the following year and you go and win the World Series. And then 2018 was another amazing year, coming off of a disappointing 2017 season. So you've been very fortunate to see some really quick turnarounds with this Red Sox club.
Yeah, a lot of success in Boston sports for as long as I've watched. You got the Patriots, obviously. Red Sox have been successful.
So you're Boston sports through and through with all of the major teams.
Oh yeah, Celtics and Bruins as well.
And a swing and a miss and strike three there by Evan Cali ends the third inning. Phil Nichols, it's been great talking to you about Keene State baseball and a little bit about Boston sports in general. Thank you for stopping by. We look forward to seeing you on the mound later this season.
All right, thank you very much for having me.
We'll be back with the fourth inning after this.